Hey! Hi everyone! It's the Wine Fairy, and hello to my favorite winos. I'm going to cover wine glasses today. A lot of times when I do tastings, and fortunately for all of you who get me in your home, I bring my own glasses. I just bring a standard wine glass that's good with all different types of wine, because typically we'll taste between 5 and 7 wines at a tasting. But for your own enjoyment, the most important thing is that the glass is thin. It doesn't need to be crystal, but I prefer crystal to glass. However, the shape of the wine glass is also very important to your enjoyment of your wine. I am a red wine drinker, so I love to have a wine glass with a really big bowl. But a wine glass is composed of 3 parts, typically. There's your foot, there's your stem, and there's your bowl. The size of the bowl really helps react with the wine. So with a red wine, you're going to want a larger surface area. So if I were drinking a really full-bodied red wine, this glass would be perfect. You see how wide it is? That gives a lot of air to react with the wine and release those aromas. And then they're going to hover here near the lip. And the lip, the thinner the lip is, that will not interfere with the taste of the wine. If I'm drinking a white wine, it could be a glass like this or like a flute. Because with the white wine, you want to contain the aromas. You want them in a smaller surface area. And you also don't want it so spread out that the white wine is going to start to warm up. So you want to have a tighter glass for your white wines. If you are just buying one set of glasses, I would say a glass like this or a glass like this where it has just a very common shape, not too wide, not too tight. But it's not unusual if you're in a country like in Italy and you're in the more rustic areas that they actually serve you wine in a tumbler or a little glass that almost looks like a juice glass. And the reason they do that is really for practicality, because they may be bustling tables and putting people in and out to table, so they don't want to have the breakage that often occurs when you have stemmed glasses. But why do you think the stem is so important? Well, first of all, every part of us has some sort of odors, and wines are very, very delicate. And especially now that we're all using a lot of hand sanitizer, you really want to have that stem because you want your hand really far from the fragrance of the wine. So by holding your wine glass, and I like to hold it like this with my little pinky underneath as my safety, because if I'm navigating through a room, if my pinky is out in a very sophisticated way, it might get caught on someone and I might spill my wine, and that would be a tragedy. So we're not going to do that. You keep your little safety underneath, you have your fingers on the stem, and that way you can enjoy the fragrance of your wine without altering it with the fragrances that may be on your hand or in your wrist. So what I'd like to have in my home is even smaller glasses like this. And these I use for my meditation wines, or my sherries, or ice wines, or vin santos. They're little tiny wine glasses where you just have an idea of the liqueur in there and you can enjoy it. You can still hold it with its stem, and because it's the end of your meal and these are fortified liqueurs, they also have a little bit more liquor. You have less breakage and spillage with this smaller glass. You can still use the tiny little juice glasses as well. And then if you have celebratory wines, you're going to want to have a flute. And I love these because the perlage of the sparkling wines, it radiates up through this very long stem, and it's just perfect. You may have seen in movies where they were very glamorous, where they had the cup of champagne, where it was just a little ladle on a stem. Those are very elegant, and I find them perfect for Chardonnays, where you can really smell that brioche yeast in the Chardonnay and some of those lovelier white Bordeauxs. Well, that's all I have for you about glasses and the importance of having the right one. But the most important thing is to enjoy the wine that you have in them. So cheers, and don't forget to subscribe and like below. And please tell me your questions so that I can address them in our next wine minute. Thank you. This is the Wine Fairy. Cheers.